So we are up here in Jackson Hole, driving this LT. What's this thing called?
Trail Boss.
Trail Boss. It's one of the 2-inch factory lift, and we're heading toward Idaho. And then who knows where we're going after that?
Go get some caffeine, get caffeinated, and then head out into the Never Never and hopefully find some off-road and some big trailers to tug around.
Yes, we're going to tow trailers today. And what's your name?
My name's Brian.
Brian. And what are you, a website, or what are you?
Yeah, Brian Dorr, freelance photographer and journalist here in the auto industry and a lot in the outdoor space. And Exploring Elements is my site, and I write for GearJunkie.com a lot.
Oh, cool. We are out in the outback here, the whatever we call this. Mountains everywhere, twisty, turny roads, switchbacks every.
This is just the driveway to the resort right now.
That's true. We stayed in some really fancy resort as usual.
Ride and handling.
So, have you guys done anything different to the front suspension? Chevy's always been the smoothest riding, best steering truck out there. So, you changed the A-frame or anything there at all? Looks like there's an extra brace maybe on the back of the A-frame. Is it not? Is that the one's always been there?
The lower control arm does have an extra brace, but we did improve the steering sensitivity as well as the ride with a taller knuckle. Taller knuckle allowed more suspension travel.
Oh.
More operating room for the shock before you bottom out.
More wheel travel.
Exactly.
Now you got 2 inches more play. You could really do some playing.
Exactly.
That's good. That's good to know. I like that because I noticed something looked different there. And there you go. Yeehaw!
Oh, we got to crawl.
Oh, crawl. Oh,
there
like
you
slow?
We're
Holy cow! Oh my goodness. Well, that is kind of cool. So quite a bit of articulation. Oh, geez, bottom down on your skid plates. Oh, we're stuck now. Now what do we do?
Oh, now let's let off the gas.
Do I play with the mode? Do I play with the mode thing?
There you go.
Okay.
Now take your foot off the brake. Let the hill descent control.
Oh,
catch
hill
the
descent.
truck.
That's good. I like that. I could have done that back there.
Yeah. Give it a little gas, and we're gonna go right up the hill.
See some divots. Holy cow! Oh, wow, we are angled now. What's on this side of the hill? Yeehaw! Oh,
Left hand
rocks.
turn to the rocks.
Your bladder's probably loose, isn't it?
No, I'm fine.
Do this all day long. Oh, so this is the, what's the ZR71 or what is the off-road? Z71?
This is a 2019 Trail Boss with the Z71.
Z71. So this is the lifted?
2-inch factory lift.
Okay. Awesome. This is a nice package to get.
So let's stop
Go
right
chase
here.
coyotes.
Yeah, let's stop here. We're going to put it in drive. So we can blast through the mud hole.
Oh, cool. All this mud, right? I can fly. Be coyote! Let's drive over here somewhere.
Well, you can straighten it back up.
Okay, this has got those new mirrors now. This is the standard mirror that's on here. And it still is big. I'm surprised. I want to see that they are coming out with a trailering mirror, which would be a big deal for me. But these are decent mirrors. I don't know why.
It's a wide mirror.
Yeah, the spotter mirror should be on both sides, or at least on the right side. That's the hardest part.
Right?
And Chevy loves putting them on the left side.
It's a blind spot mirror in this case only. So your blind spot over there is pretty much what that's for.
But the worst blind spot's over there.
I hear you, but you're usually merging into traffic over there. Is the blind spot, like, so that's why theory,
well, there you go.
You guess you need it over here too when you're
yeah.
Come on, Chevy, put it on both sides.
Yeah.
Stop cheaping out. That's like a $2 part.
But these are bigger mirrors. I was thinking I've seen these on a Suburban too, but they're decent for
they're good looking
base
design
mirror.
too.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they dropped it. They used to be there in the corner piece, which is really changed. Really easy to build them, but they stuck them in the body panel, which is a lot more expensive to add. So they've actually did an improvement there. We'll see what all the towing mirrors. I don't know where they're going to anchor those. They might be a single arm like Dodge or Ram has. We'll find out.
Yep.
And I love the brake controller. It's over here where it should be. It'll save lives. Brake controller's on the right side. Finally, now they're like everybody else. All the semis on the planet, all the other pickup trucks, are all on the right side.
Yep.
It's
Easy
like
reach.
Yeah, it's like those side terminal batteries. 30 years later, well, maybe it's not such a good idea. Maybe nobody else is following, so we'll go copy them. But GM comes out with some good ideas. And I love the way this thing looks. You can tell from miles away what this is. You know, the Ram, they've done a lot of things to it, but you need to have somebody explain to you all the things they did. Yeah. Otherwise, you wouldn't know half of it. This one, you can see a lot of it. You can sit inside the cab and see a lot of it. Yeah. And then, you know...
No, the angles and lines on this new truck are really clean and sharp, and you can definitely tell it's a Chevy. Definitely impressed. I have to say, though, that Ram, I think the new one that just came out is pretty... unique in its design. They went the bulbous route where everybody else is going flat side, sharp curves, sharp lines. Yeah. So I feel like you can look far away and go, okay, that's a Ram, but
unless it's a Rebel.
I like the styling on this better.
Yeah, that's true. And we're going to look at the GMCs here in another few weeks, but usually GMC I always thought had a better look than the Chevy, and now I think the Chevy has a better look than the GMC.
I think in this new generation, I think you were probably right, yeah.
And today we're in the 2019 Silverado with the 5.3 and 8-speed. I'm here with the TFL truck gang, Roman and Tommy.
That's right, we're about to do a little bit of a tow test, Kent. First time towing in the brand new Silverado. This is a big deal. A new Silverado doesn't come along every day.
I know, and it's, both of these, this has the 8-speed, the other one we're going to drive has a 10-speed, and they have changed how the tow haul mode works. Besides being on a knob now, which is quite a bit different than the stem, this also actually will raise your RPMs when you're going downhill and using tow haul mode and braking and shifting. It'll hold at RPM, of course, hold the gear longer, but that's what they've changed on this. They've really gone big on trailers this year. I mean, they'll tell you so much information. We just talked about the tag and the door. My gosh, this is wonderful because all those numbers you can't really get anywhere unless you do a lot of research on the web.
Yeah, I mean, trucks have always been tools. Kind of sounds wrong, but it's true. But now they're especially treated like tools by Chevy. It's nice to see that. And you've got tow haul mode on?
Yes, I do. I have tow haul mode on. I've got my lights on in case we haven't plugged a trailer plug. So we're good. We're up here in a beautiful, is this the Titans? The Tetons? The Tetons?
Yes.
Something like that.
Yeah, you were close, and you got it the third time. So let's merge onto the highway here and maybe go left and see just how much power it has, right? Because we want to see if it's got enough power to tow this 6,000 pounds. And admittedly, 6,000 pounds is well below this truck's capability.
That's true. We're not really going to strain this truck at all. We are going to go uphill, so that's a good test.
It's a good test, but we're going to have to wait till we get it on the iGauntlet to really push it.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think of the driving position? It's changed.
The driving position?
Yeah, the steering wheel used to be
yeah. I'm glad you brought that up because, for decades they had it angled toward the door and it drove me nuts. The seat was off, too, and it's really hard for me pulling trailers to ever get comfortable with looking out the mirrors.
Dude, give it the beans.
For me to drift this trailer. There's a couple of beans in there, not the whole batch.
I agree with you. I'm going to give it a half bag of beans.
It shifts so smooth, even at 8-speed, it shifts so smooth. And if that part that deactivates cylinders, it goes down to 2 if it has to, but it is so seamless, and you don't get the little V4 light on the dash anymore.
No.
So it just works. And I guess you got to be confident in that because you have no idea. Unless you're in Kansas, you'll know you're probably running on 4.
All right.
And that does have the same kind of look we're used to, but I love the big knobs. I like a knob on the fan. I hate sitting there trying to push a button driving down a bouncy road, but I like the layout, and we're used to it. So I suppose they leave some of the old in there so you don't think you're totally in a different vehicle.
Yeah, and let me talk about what I like about it. Over the hood, you've got this great view of this really big and kind of meaty hood. I like that. I like the fact that there's a lot more room in here, right? 3 inches in the cabin. That's a lot of space.
Yeah.
You could put that seat all the way back and there'd still be room for me to sit behind you.
Yeah, that's really nice because that back seat has always been small, even in a crew cab. They've always been a little smaller. And now they're all getting up there where they put big adults can sit in the back. You can sleep back there. It's awesome. Yeah.
So let me ask you this. You like the placement of the brake controller?
I love it. It's over there, and it's, you know...
On your right.
Yes, it's been such a long time. I mean, decades. I've been complaining to complaining to Chevy, and they've told me they were going to move it years ago, like 2011. They didn't do it. They moved the engineers somewhere else. So then they moved the brake controller up, which was an improvement, but still wasn't where you can react the fastest over here. I mean, I used to always tell them, you find me a semi, the brake controller for the trailer on the right side, and I'll stop complaining. Well, they never could find one. There isn't such a thing. There's not a truck like that has it other than Chevy. It's kind of like the side terminal batteries. They thought they were right for 30 years. Finally, they gave in. So this model, this was 20 years or how long it was, but it was at least 10.
Yeah, so I like that. I don't like the fact that the push button start is right by my knee right now, or right by your knee. It seems like you could hit that by accident.
Well, maybe if you have a knot on your knee. Yeah.
It is inside a little bit.
But you know, this is cool on the left side though. Your Ford used to be the four-wheel drive knob and the light knob were the same exact thing almost.
Right.
And I would always get those confused. Now it's all set up different. Your tow haul mode is over there, which has a sport mode. All those cool things are in the knob. I love this little gadget. You seen this little gadget here?
Yeah.
It rolls. I love it. And then the guy went over there does a little bit. This rolls all over the place. I think that is just so cool.
Let's talk about towing. So, you know, best in class are three big words that all the manufacturers like to compete for. And this has best in class bed width.
Inside,
yeah. But it doesn't have best in class towing numbers. Ford still owns those.
Right. And it's something about Jim's philosophy. They don't want to be the top max towing percentage or weight. I guess they don't think that's necessary, and I understand that. I mean, that's how they think. They all have a different view of towing.
You know, it's like making love, right? It's not the size, but the motion in the ocean. Right?
Is that what that is?
Yeah,
that's what she said. Yeah.
That's kind of GM's approach, right? Okay. It's not the size of the boat, but they're all about control, right? They want you to have control, and they want you to be comfortable, and they don't want you to be fatigued when you're towing. That's great, but it doesn't make for great commercials.
Right, and that's true. A lot of people, they want the #1 numbers in all those different categories, but, you know, the trailering side of it, I understand even on the gooseneck side of it somewhat, because, you know, you got to have the trailer brakes catch up to the truck capacity. You know, there's so many things you could do wrong by towing too heavy of a trailer, so it's really hard for me to totally discount them. Yeah, they're not the biggest or the best, but there you go.
So how does it tow?
Well, it's towing fine. I mean, even without a weight distributing hitch.
Okay.
Which this should have. It's 6,000 pounds. But, yeah, I'm not swaying. I mean, they've done a lot. The suspension has always been great on these. I think they've always been the best handling trucks and the best steering trucks. But, you know, they haven't lost that. They've added some more safety features. I think this will do better in the National Highway Safety Administration crash test from what they've done. So, no, I mean, it's an impressive truck. Now, you were talking about the hood, and you like that power dome kind of thing. They're all kind of going to that, this big power dome thing, but you lose some visibility. If you're off-roading, you have no idea what's going on over there.
Good. But what is good is just how remarkably composed and quiet this truck is, right?
Oh, it is quiet.
Yeah, I mean, we're, you know, towing up a relatively steep grade with 6,000 pounds, so you can barely hear that engine.
That's true. It's comfortable. It tows well, you know, and we're not having any problems controlling this little trailer. But yeah, the next thing we're going to find out when they tell us is about the towing mirrors. I want to know what the new towing mirrors. They are making one, but you look at this one now. The pedestal for it is in the door. Yeah, they're longer, and you have a little bit less blind spot on this side, right by the mirror, and you know it's a stronger. Okay, it's more of an expensive mirror. Right there.
Yeah. Well, can you turn around there? Or is that?
Oh, I can do anything.
Yeah.
It's Mr. Truck you're dealing with.
That's right. See, that's part of the problem without having towing mirrors now. I cannot see what's behind my trailer. I just hope my brake lights work because I have no choice.
But I'm sure Mr. Truck, you can make this work.
Yes, I can do a donut anywhere.
Cat, we are now in the big boy 6.2 liter.
Yeah.
What used to be actually the most powerful engine, best in class, until Ford announced that for 2019 they're going to put the Raptor engine into the Limited, which now makes it the most powerful engine. But nevertheless, it's a powerful engine. Ironically, this one actually tows less than the 5.3 because
the weight of the engine and the weight of the transmission. Yeah. Now this first year of the 10-speed though, isn't it? In the 6.2.
Yes.
So that's an advantage, and that's the engineer was telling me about the towing sequence on this. You know, first 2 gears are really low because the gears are close together, and you got 10 of them. Sounds with this one.
392. It's a 3.23.
Oh, you're right. They're 3.23.
Yeah.
Both these trucks have that same axle ratio, which seems high. It's a fuel mileage ratio, but they can do that when your first and second gear are geared really low. And this one, just like the last one, they have actually changed tow haul mode to where it'll hold a little higher RPM and a little longer. when you're coming down here, when you're grade shifting, all those things. So that should help better with the control. They've gone crazy with trailer help on this. They'll do so many things.
Yeah, so can you tell a difference? Well, let's wait till we get on the highway. Let's do our giving it the beans again and see how many beans the 6.2 gives it versus the 5.3.
And we're about 7,000 feet above sea level, as I recall.
Yeah, we're pretty high up here in Wyoming. Oh, you got a clear road, dude. Give her the beans!
The beans! Let's see trailer drifting.
Whoa!
Whoa, we are spinning tire. That trailer's going sideways. Yeehaw! Whoa, there's some power.
Yeah, this one gave us a lot more beans. This is like a full bag of beans. When the rear wheel starts spinning, it's a lot of beans.
Yep, it's got the power. I love this.
And you can hear the engine.
Yes. And now, there's no, when you're listening to the exhaust note outside the truck, there's all these things that are not letting it wrap up. Now we can wrap it up and it sounds wonderful. Even though it's a quiet truck, you can hear that V8 thunder.
Yeah, we should compare it to the other trucks in its class. So obviously the two biggest competitors are the Ram 1500, which has a Hemi, which actually has less power.
Yeah.
But they're coming out with a new mild hybrid.
Right.
We're going to be driving that actually very soon as well, so stay tuned for that. And of course, Ford has the EcoBoost 3.5 now. If you get it with the Raptor engine, it's going to blow everybody out of the water because that's going to be the most powerful. But GM has some really innovative engines coming, and that's going to be later this year. They've got the 6-cylinder straight 6 diesel.
Yes.
And get this, a 4-cylinder turbo. Doesn't tow a heck of a lot, about 7,500 pounds.
Yeah, which isn't bad for a 4-cylinder.
But still, it'll be the only 4-cylinder full-size truck on the market. So there's a lot coming. Of course, there's Toyota, Nissan. They both have a half-ton. Only 2 engine choices in those.
Right. I'd be interested in how the public reacts to a 4-cylinder in a full-size truck. I just want to see what kind of feedback they
I can't wait. I'm dying to drive both that one and the straight 6.
Oh, yeah. Look at the tops of these trees. The wind's blowing a lot harder than we went, because I can feel it in the trailer.
Really?
And they should have put a weight distributed hitch on this. I'm not sure why, but you can tell. Hey, we went into Idaho now.
So you think that the 6.2 is a little bit better at towing this trailer, going up this hill?
Yes. Even with the same axle ratio, more horsepower, more torque, all the stuff you need. And when we come down the hill, we'll see how the grade shift is. See if it's any different than what we just did with the 5.3. But no, this is good. Feel that? You can probably feel the sway.
I can feel the sway. Yeah.
Yeah, that's from the wind.
Yeah, it's interesting how that happens. Now, of course, 6,000 pounds isn't a lot of weight for a truck with 460 pound-foot of torque, 420 horsepower, so we're not really stressing this thing out.
And 10 gears, it can always find the right gear that way. It's nice. And we're running 1,800 RPM, which also helps your fuel mileage.
And speaking of the gears, we can't see what gear we're in. It doesn't seem to have that ability.
And see, I'll hit the minus button, which used to be how you did it on the Ram, and I don't see nothing. I don't even see where you can put it in low. On the old shifter, you put it in low, and then you go down shift, and it would actually manually shift. Well, I don't even know how you manually shift this puppy now, because it's not doing it, and I don't know where to get it involved. But anyway.
Let me talk about one of my favorite features in this truck. We talked about other features. This one has this cool feature where it's got a phone charger. I love that. Just put it down there, and phone starts charging itself.
And I liked it that it's open. I've had a Lexus that Kelsey and I drove. She put her phone in that little box, supposed to do the same thing. It cooked her phone. I don't like a box for a phone charger.
Yeah. Why is this guy passing us? We're not going that slow.
We are going 50. I guess I should
let's talk
fly up this hill.
about towing mirrors, right? Which this doesn't have.
Right, and that's the difference too. This truck is basically 6 foot wide, maybe 6'2" wide. The trailer is 8.5 feet wide, so I'm narrower than a trailer, and that's why I need towing mirrors. And they say it's coming. We don't know what it looks like. We don't know what they cost. We don't know anything about them. But that's what you need, because look at me. I'm looking at the side. I see the front of the trailer. I cannot see even halfway back on the trailer. So that's what the trailer towing mirrors are all about. And that's why we use those aftermarket when we're using SUVs.
I hate those.
They're ugly, but they work, and we're trying to be safe.
They're really clunky.
So I can be ugly and safe,
Yeah, but those are really clunky. They stick on with like suction cups. It's not a good solution. If it were up to you, would you use a weight distributing hitch?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
And actually, in the manual, it'll tell you over 5,000 pounds. They require you to.
So GM says, but.
And it's probably just an oversight. I mean, they didn't. I don't know. I really shouldn't say because I don't know. But it is important. And you can tell weight distributing, which with sway control, which the better ones have, this thing would not be moving around at all. And I even noticed that on my 3/4 ton truck with my toy hauler, I started using the weight distributing hitch with that, and it's amazing how much more control you have, and you don't have any wind distortion or any of this other stuff that comes along.
I do like these grab handles.
Oh yes, and this is new on this side.
That's new. Yeah, I do like them there. That's a nice placement for them. And I also like the fact that we've got cooled and heated seats, and these chilled seats are working really well.
They feel good, yes.
All right.
Can you talk about the fuel tank?
Oh, yeah, let's talk about that. I asked the engineer, you know what the biggest fuel tank you can get on this?
Well, it's not 30.
It's not 30, no. I think it's 26 gallon.
That's not enough.
That doesn't seem like a lot. I think with the 8-foot bed, you can get a 28-foot. The biggest one you can get is 26 gallons. I think with the 8-foot, you can get a 28-gallon tank, but you can get a 38-gallon tank in a Tundra.
Yeah, what's 2 gallons? Oh my gosh, yeah, you need a bigger. If you're going to tow trailers, if that's what their aim is, heavy trailers, if they're going to hit the trailering market like they're doing, that's one thing they've got to address. A bigger tank. You got to have a bigger tank.
Yeah, 26 gallons, the standard truck is just not big enough in my opinion. Time will tell, but I predict that within a year there'll be a bigger fuel tank in this Silverado.
Right, and I haven't climbed underneath there in a while, but I have climbed underneath there to see how big the tank is.
Do you like the position, Kent?
I love the position. This is where it's most advantageous to me, even if I'm not left-handed. I think you can rest your hand here, you can play with this, and a lot of times, most people, it's a quicker response is at this right side.
So it's safer.
I think so. And when they had it down low on the left side, it was really bad. Now they moved it up. But Ford now, which is the first one to have an integrated brake controller, was always at the right level, and then they put that Trader Pro thing in there, so then they had lowered it. So now the Ford has gotten so low, it's out of your peripheral vision. You have to look for it, which is not good. So this is in the right place. It's a squeeze. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of nice with the middle stack here and the digital readout. It shows you a lot of things. It shows you tow haul mode, shows you that it's in 2-wheel drive, shows you the direction, the cruise control, all that stuff without you have to look around the dash. And sometimes, I wonder where the blinkers are. Look at the blinkers are where they're at. I noticed on Ram the other day, their blinkers are clear at the top of the gauge stack. Well, it means if you have your tilt down, you have no idea if your blinkers go on, if you're old like me and can't remember. But I like it. Ford's down low, Chevy's down low. That's where your blinkers should be, right there where you don't have to look for them. But yeah, all this other information is good. I know I'm in 2-wheel drive. I know I have tow haul mode on. I know I'm in drive, and not that I can tell anything else about the transmission. And we're going southeast. This is good. I like this. Now, back to the towing mirror thing that we're trying to narrow down. On this one, when you do, these are bigger mirrors than most people have for a standard mirror. They are a good mirror. They're just not a towing mirror. So if I'm going down the road and if I want to see if there's a motorcycle back there, it's about to pass me or something going on, and I don't have towing mirrors, and I don't have that new device that measures your trailer that a lot of manufacturers are going to, I have to whip my trailer. It's that little whip thing where you make the back end move over and you look. You don't want to do that too many times, or the state patrol will pull you over and give you one of those tests for alcohol. But anyway.
You try the grade shifting.
Oh, grade shifting? Yeah, go down there, we'll try that. See how the grade shifting is. The other one, I guess it moved from 18 to 22. That's 400 RPMs. Let's see what this does when I get it rolling downhill here. See if we're picking up speed. I want to get to where we're picking up speed. Yes, I want the coast. Okay, I'm running only 1500 RPM. Let me hit the brakes. See what it takes to wrap it up a little. Moved a couple hundred RPM. Shifted twice. That must be the thing there about shifting twice on the new tow haul modes. I know that they've done a lot to control the transmission in their tow haul selection. But let me get a little speed. We'll try another little hill here and see if I can round it up to 50 miles an hour, get those RPMs closer to 2,000 RPM.
Just not enough weight.
Yeah, that could be 6,000 pounds. Here's a little bit of a drop. Let's see. Okay, I'm down to 18. And I'm going to hit the brakes. Doesn't want to downshift.
No.
There it did once. So, to me it moved less RPM, and that's what I'm saying. Now, naturally, with 10 speeds versus an 8-speed, it's going to have less RPM per gear because you got more gears, they're closer together. And I always thought that was a detrimental effect of tow haul mode if you don't have enough RPM for it to have the engine brakings. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to use the engine RPM to slow you down, let it wrap up and resist against the engine. And that's what we're lacking here. So I'm going to say, just in this small little test, that 8-speed grade shifted better than a 10-speed. And that's what we learned a long time ago, that back before they made their adjustment, the 8-speed on these 6.2s and General Motors grade shifted better than the 3.5 EcoBoost with a 10-speed. And now that's changed again. So they can do all that with their computers. They don't even have to put parts in them, which is so nice how they can calibrate these machines. And that'll make a difference, and hopefully they'll calibrate it again. But right now, I think that 8-speed's a little better on grade shifting. Not on power, but grade shifting. Trailer.
Tons of pickup truck questions, right?
Right. Where do we go for the answers?
We go to the Truck Nuts book.
Because we're truck nuts. And we wrote the book, Truck Nuts. We're nuts about truck, the ultimate guide to buying a truck, or to looking at a truck, or judging a truck. You know, whether it's diesel versus gas, new versus used, what your teenagers should learn about trucks, all that. You do all kinds of cool tests.
Yeah, we do a lot of testing. We do the iGauntlet, world's toughest towing test, up the mountain and down the mountain. We do MPG testing on the highway, loaded with trailers.
Yeah.
We do off-road testing. A lot of that data is in this book as well, and it's a one-stop shop for truck information.
That's true. We test trucks, maximum capacity, up to the biggest grades you can do on the interstate.
Yep.
So we really put them to the test. And, you know, you can get all the facts you can't find anywhere else. We do MPG tests, which you can't find on any sticker anywhere. So, you know, all that stuff that you can't find is in the book.
And you can find the book at trucknutsbook.com. There are links to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and all the other bookstores as well.
So read about your truck nuts.